One night, I was home alone playing video games in the living room when I heard strange noises coming from the basement. My parents had gone out for dinner with friends, leaving me with the entire house to myself. It felt great to have some alone time and play video games on our big screen TV. I was excited to play Halo 2 online with my friends all night. After an hour of playing, I thought I heard and felt movement in the basement below me. I muted my headphones and listened, but heard nothing. I continued playing. 2 hours later, I heard and felt the movement again. This time, it was louder, and it felt like something hit the basement ceiling. I told my friends to hold on, then walked to the door leading to the basement. There was also a side door entrance to the basement from outside the house, about 7 steps down from the hallway entrance door. The side door entrance was slightly open. Not much, but enough to seem like someone had let themselves in and didn't shut it all the way. I slowly walked down the steps, shut the side door, and locked it. I was seriously freaked out and scared. I was home alone and nothing bad ever happened in our good neighborhood. Curiosity got the better of me, so I decided to check out the basement. I flicked the lights on. Everything seemed fine. We had a storage room at the end of the basement hall. I couldn't resist making sure everything was in order there, too. I tiptoed toward the storage room, feeling my heart race. I grabbed a baseball bat, ready to swing it in case anyone came out of that storage room. As I approached the storage room door, my hands grew clammy. What felt like an hour was only a few minutes as I stared at the door. I reached for the doorknob, turned it, pushed the door open with my bat. As soon as the door was halfway open, someone kicked it shut and growled at me like an animal. I fell backward but quickly got up and ran faster than I ever had in my life. I tripped up the basement steps but made it back into the house, locked the door, and told my friends I had an intruder in the basement. I dropped my headset and grabbed my cell phone. I dialed 911. While on the phone with the 911 operator, I heard pounding on the basement ceiling below me. I shouted that someone had broken into my house and was in the basement storage room. The operator asked me questions, but I was too frightened to answer them properly. I just kept pleading for help. She told me to calm down and find a place to hide. Help was on the way. I hid in my bedroom closet, my breath bouncing off the phone and hitting me in the face from how fast I was breathing. The operator asked for my name, age, and where my parents were. I told her it was just me in the house and gave her my parents' cell numbers. She told me to stay on the phone and assured me that 2 police units were heading to my house. The pounding on the basement ceiling started again, louder than before. It sounded like a demolition team was tearing up the basement. The operator asked what was happening, and I told her about the banging. She told me to hold tight, as the police had arrived and were outside. I didn't want to leave the closet, but the banging seemed to be coming from right beneath me. I shouted for help, and then I heard the police kicking in the side door. I ran out of the closet to the back door, hearing the police shouting commands as they descended the basement steps. The banging intensified as they called out, "Make yourself known!" The operator told me to stay put, so I did. I heard a door being kicked in. I heard the police say, "There's no one here, it's all clear." They searched the entire house and found no one. It didn't seem possible. I insisted there had to have been someone. The door had been slightly open, like someone came in and forgot to shut it, but we always kept it locked. I explained to them that I opened the storage room door and someone kicked it shut and growled at me. And then there was banging on the basement ceiling. Police dismissed it as a kid's overactive imagination. But the banging was real. The operator and the cops heard it. The police took notes, then my parents came home. The cops started laughing. One even joked, "Hey, maybe this house is haunted." I was 17 then, and I lived in my parents' house until I was 23 before getting my own place. I'm 37 now. Nothing strange has happened at my parents' house since. Believe me, I've asked them, and I've stayed there on weekends waiting for something to happen again. Nothing. It all started during the pandemic. My little sister and me moved into my mom's house due to my dad moving away for work. The house was okay, nothing out of the ordinary, until strange things started happening. Doors started opening and closing on their own. The sounds of people walking around the house despite me being alone. I also heard my name being called, even though no one was around. One particular night, I couldn't fall asleep, which is weird because usually at that particular time of night, I would have blacked out. Not this night, not this time. I felt a presence watching me. I don't normally get scared easily, but this time, I felt like crapping my pants. So in an attempt to distract myself, I scrolled aimlessly on my phone. I mean, after all, maybe I was just imagining things. Soon I drifted asleep. At around 3 a.m., I woke up with the sudden urge of using the bathroom. I walked out of my room and immediately halted. I saw a lady. She was standing against my sister's bedroom door frame. Fortunately, the bathroom was in the opposite direction, so I rushed inside, closed and locked the door, and did what I had to do. When I was done, I went back into the hall, and the lady, she was still there. This time she was staring at me with dead eyes and an eerily creepy smile. I rubbed my eyes. I blinked twice. She was still there. I ran into my bedroom, jumped on my bed, and hid under the blankets. I silently prayed. I peeked over my blanket. The lady was standing in the doorway, my doorway, staring at me. I wanted to cry so bad. I continued my silent prayer, praying for her to leave me alone. I looked again and she loomed over me. She started to choke me. I couldn't breathe. I started screaming at the top of my lungs, kicking and squirming my arms and legs. Next thing I know, my mom came in. The lady had disappeared. My mom said it was probably a nightmare. I knew it was more than that. I haven't heard or saw her since, but I know she's still lurking in the depths of this house, getting ready to pounce at any time.